You think God is silent? But that silence might be the very thing slowly breaking your peace. You pray. You wait. You listen. And nothing happens. No answer. No direction. No sign. Just silence. And over time, that silence starts to feel heavy. It starts to feel personal. Like maybe God is ignoring you. Like maybe you're not worth responding to. Many Christians never say this out loud. But deep inside, this is exactly what they feel. Not everything that looks like faith is actually trust. Sometimes it's quiet confusion. Because you were told something simple. If you pray, God will answer. So you prayed. Again. And again. And again. And when nothing changed, you didn't just lose clarity, you started losing peace. And this is where it becomes dangerous. Because when God doesn't move the way you expect, you start rewriting who He is. You begin to think, maybe He's distant. Maybe He doesn't care. Maybe I did something wrong. But listen carefully. Not everything that feels like silence is absence. And this is where many believers get it wrong. They assume no response means no God. But what if that assumption is the very thing keeping you stuck? Stay with me, because what you're about to understand may completely change the way you see God forever. You've had nights where your thoughts were louder than your prayers, where anxiety filled your chest and refused to leave. You whispered, "God, are you even there?" But all you heard was your own voice echoing back. And slowly, a lie started forming. Maybe He's ignoring me. This is not just emotional pain. This is spiritual misinterpretation. Because many Christians believe, if God loves me, He will respond immediately. If God is near, I will feel Him. If God cares, He will remove the pain. But it's not about what you feel. It's about what is true. And feelings can lie. This is not fear. This is discernment. Because the most dangerous moment in your faith is not when you struggle. It's when you misunderstand God. God was never silent. He was just not speaking the way you expected. You wanted answers. He was building trust. You wanted clarity. He was developing endurance. You wanted the storm to end. He was teaching you how to stand in the middle of it. And you didn't realize it. But heaven was moving in places you could not see. Not everything is meant to be loud. Not everything is meant to be explained. Because a spiritually mature person does not walk by constant confirmation. They walk by faith. But here is the part most people don't want to hear. Sometimes, God stays quiet on purpose. Not to ignore you, but to protect you. Because if He told you everything too early, you would rush into things you're not ready for. You would depend on answers instead of trusting His presence. And this is where many Christians fall. They don't want God. They want clarity. They don't want transformation. They want relief. But it's not about getting quick answers. It's about becoming someone who can handle what's coming. This is not rejection. This is preparation. There are things God is doing in you that cannot happen in noise. Only in silence. He is strengthening your faith. Without visible results. He is refining your heart. Without external validation. He is removing your dependence on feelings. Because if your faith only works when you feel God, then it's not faith. It's emotion. And emotions are unstable. But truth remains. Let me show you something deeper. The silence you hate is often where God does His greatest work. Because in silence, you are exposed. No distractions. No noise. No emotional highs. Just you and what you truly believe. And this is where identity is formed. A spiritually mature person does not panic in silence. They learn to discern. They understand. God is not absent. He is just working in a way I don't yet understand. And this changes everything. Because now, you stop chasing feelings. And you start building faith. You stop demanding answers. And you start trusting character. You stop asking, why is God not speaking? And you begin asking, what is He forming in me right now? And this shift is where transformation begins. But here is where it gets even more real. Some of you are not just dealing with silence. You're dealing with exhaustion. You've been strong for too long. You've been holding everything together while falling apart inside. And you thought, if I just keep going, God will fix it. But listen carefully. God never asked you to carry everything. Many Christians are not tired because life is heavy. They are tired because they are carrying things God never gave them. False guilt, unrealistic pressure, the need to fix everything, the fear of letting go. This is not obedience. This is bondage. And this is where truth sets you free. It's not about doing more. It's about releasing what was never yours. God is not asking you to hold your life together. He is asking you to trust Him with it. And trust does not always feel strong. Sometimes it feels like letting go. Letting go of control. Letting go of timelines. Letting go of expectations. And yes, that feels uncomfortable. Because control gives the illusion of safety. But real peace comes from surrender. This is not weakness. This is alignment. Because when you finally release what was never yours to carry, you create space for God to move. And He will move. Not always in the way you expect, but always in the way you need. There are things shifting right now that you cannot see. Doors being positioned, people being aligned, situations being rearranged. And if you interrupt the process because you don't see progress, you will miss what God is building. This is why patience matters. Not passive waiting, but active trust. Trust when nothing makes sense. Trust when nothing changes. Trust when everything feels delayed. Because delay does not mean denial. It means development. You are being prepared, strengthened, stretched. And yes, it's uncomfortable. But growth always is. And one day, you will look back and realize God was never silent. He was strategic. Every delay had purpose. Every silence had intention. Every moment of confusion was building clarity you couldn't see yet. And suddenly, everything will make sense. But until that moment comes, you have a choice. You can either assume the worst or trust what is true. God has not left you. God has not forgotten you. God has not rejected you. He is still working. Even now. Even here. Even in the silence. So don't walk away. Don't shut down. Don't let a quiet season convince you of a false story. Because the truth is, this may be the most important season of your life. Not because of what you see, but because of who you are becoming. And if you stay, if you trust, if you allow God to finish what He started, you will not come out the same. You will come out stronger, clearer, more grounded, more discerning, not dependent on feelings, but rooted in truth. And that kind of faith cannot be shaken. So the next time it feels like God is silent, don't panic. Lean in. Because He may be closer than you've ever realized. And what He is doing right now is preparing you for something far greater than you expected.